You're listening to the Hour of the Time. I'm your host, William Cooper.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, white sidewall tires and old golf balls.
Sinks, stoves, bathtubs he'll do. He'll even help clean laundry too.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Can he clean a kitchen sink?
Quicker than a wink.
Can he clean a window sash?
Faster than a flash.
Can he clean a dirty mirror?
He'll make it bright and clear.
Can he clean a diamond ring?
Mr. Clean cleans anything.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Hello, folks. This is William Cooper for Swiss America Trading. I know that some of you out there have not yet called Swiss America Trading. I know that some of you have. And for those of you who have not, let me tell you what has happened with the investments of those people who called Swiss America Trading when Swiss America Trading first became the sponsor of this program. If you bought gold, you have already realized an 11% profit clear. No problem whatsoever. If you have bought silver, silver is up. If you have bought platinum, platinum is up, folks. If you have invested in any of the low-rate coins that are recommended by Swiss America Trading and that we recommend here also, you have realized a 30% profit. Now, all of those of you sitting out there listening to this broadcast who think that we're just giving you this information to make some money, let me assure you that the only thing that the Hour of the Time, William Cooper, or the Citizens Agency for Joint Intelligence realize from Swiss America Trading is zero, nothing, zip. You see, they pay for the airtime on this show. That's all we ask. That's all we want. We are not in this for profit. We are here to try to help save the Constitution of the United States of America and the Bill of Rights. Freedom. Freedom. It's slipping out of our grasp. Quickly. It's almost gone. Many of you have seen it fly already. You've put the chains around your own feet. The financial community right now is in such fearful anticipation of an economic collapse, folks, that they have just lowered the interest rates at the Bundesbank. Now, if you understand anything about the economy of the world, you know what that means. You see, interest rates were already lower than they have been in such a long time that nobody can even remember rates that low. And they have just lowered them again. That means that the big money players, the bankers, are afraid. That means that everything that I have predicted is coming to pass right before our very eyes, and you had better pay attention. Now, I'm going to put a little humor in here. I just talked to Craig Smith at Swiss America Trading, and he told me they're issuing 3 new bonds. The Bush bond with 0% interest, the Quayle bond with, of course, no maturity, and the Clinton bond with no principal. Now, that's funny, and we can appreciate a little joke, but at the same time, There's a lot of truth in what I just told you. There is no confidence in this administration. No world leader has emerged in Bill Clinton. The United States of America may be the only superpower left on this earth to those who want to believe that, but as we're disarming, as we have taken our B-52 bombers off alert and are now scrapping them, as we are dismantling our Minuteman missiles, as we are paring down our military forces, no such equivalent is taking place in Russia or any of the satellites that used to make up the Soviet Union. So, folks, you may buy all of this baloney about the United States being the last great superpower, but I'm telling you right now, we are not. And if we continue on the road that we are on, not only are we going to have a financial collapse, but we are going to find ourselves a third-rate, third-world country very quickly. All you have to do is look around. Stop buying the propaganda. Use your own brain, your own eyes and ears, and take a hard look at what's happening. And you don't have to be very smart at all to understand that we're going in the wrong direction. Now, what this means for you personally is everything that you've worked for, you're going to lose. You're going to lose unless you take action now. Those who have already taken action are already realizing an appreciation on their investments. Now you have to understand it's not a real appreciation, because as the price of gold and silver and coins have gone up, the value of the dollar has gone down and will continue to go down. What you are doing when you make these investments is you're protecting your assets, and believe me, in what is coming, that is the best that you can hope for at this time on your level. Call Swiss America Trading right now, 1-800-289-2646. That's 1-800-289-2646. Talk to the experts there and let them show you how to protect yourself. While you're at it, mention my name, William Cooper, and they'll send you a free newsletter chock full of information that you need to know. It doesn't cost you anything to call and talk to them. They have many different investments, many that I've recommended, some that I have not, some that I do not recommend, and some that I don't know anything about. Call now. The time to act is now. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you lose everything. Call 1-800-289-2646. That's 1-800-289-2646. In the process of saving yourself and protecting your assets, you will be saving this show and freedom for the world. Call now, 1-800-289-2646. You'll be glad that you did. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to have as my special guest today William Morgan, who is one of the members of the Citizens Agency for Joint Intelligence and has been for some time. Now, that's all that we can tell you about his identity. You will hear from him his own story, what he's been doing, how he's been doing it, what kind of information he has collected for our organization, for the citizens of this country and of the world. And we're going to talk about, well, I guess you just have to call it undercover operation. This man has been undercover for the Citizens Agency for Joint Intelligence, and I remember several episodes of the show before, sometime during the series that we call the Mystery Schools, which we've done, I believe, 19 hours of broadcasting covering that subject. I told you that we had infiltrated the lodge, the Mystery Schools, Mystery Babylon. In fact, we have not only infiltrated it once, but many times in this country and in lodges around the world. So the information that we're giving you on the Mystery Schools is not conjecture. It does not come from a bunch of people sitting around making up information. It comes from the books printed by the mystery schools themselves. It comes from our members who are actually in the lodge, and we double check everything that they bring to us. Please welcome to the hour of the time, William Morgan.
Thank you, Bill. You can call me Will, and I really appreciate that gracious and honorable introduction.
Well, we're certainly appreciative of everything that you've done. Tell us, Will, how long have you been associated with the mystery schools?
For over 2 years now. I became a Mason in June of 1991.
And what happened? I mean, how did you ever even know about Freemasonry?
At first, before I was exposed to your information, I was under the impression, as most people are, that they were a philanthropic organization dealing mostly with charity or possibly even in some way associated with unions. And as most CAGI members have come to know, that is entirely not the case.
Did you have friends who were Freemasons?
Yes, I worked with somebody who was a Freemason, and I've come to find out that that is usually the most common way that a person is exposed to the craft as they call it.
So they call it the craft amongst themselves. This is not something that the public is normally aware. What does the craft mean? What does that term mean?
Well, they consider themselves craftsmen because they are building something. And there have been many organizations throughout history with the incredible similarities to the present modern cult of Freemasonry that have called themselves builders, common scenes. They've associated with themselves always with the erection of a structure or the building of something that people just do not understand. We've come to understand that what they are erecting is the New World Order, and they've been working on it for thousands and thousands of years.
That's correct. Now, did your friend or friends try to proselytize you or talk you into joining the lodge?
No, not at all. I must admit I did go to them, and I was not entirely aware of the nature of their organization or of what was in store for me when I became a member, or a brother, as they call it.
Now, if you had not joined CAGI, would you still be sort of in the dark about the true meaning of Freemasonry? Or do the members really learn the truth about the organization during their period of time there?
Had I not joined CAGI, I would be as empty-headed and as trusting as sheeple as most of the Freemasons in America and across the world are today. They are not taught what the craft is about. They do not question authority at all. They, as a rule, and from my personal experience and observation, they obey the rules without question and to the letter.
Now, a lot of people out there are going to wonder, and I know that Freemasons are going to bring this up, that if you didn't learn what you now believe that you know about the mystery schools in the lodge, how do you know that what you've learned while you become a CAGI member, how do you know that that is true?
Well, because I can verify for myself. I can get up and check the facts and look again to verify what is going on about the mystery schools. But for what the Masons claim to be, they have absolutely no proof or evidence or even works of their own hand to prove that they are actually involved in charity work.
Now, when you began to study, you were studying actually from two sources. You were studying the mystery religion in the lodge, actually, and you were studying what you were learning from the Citizens Agency from Joint Intelligence and trying to rectify the two or bring the two together and make it fit. When did you finally decide that what you were learning in the lodge was really a deception?
The absolute clincher for me, what absolutely decided for me beyond a shadow of a doubt, and yes, I had my suspicions since I had very first become a member. You don't take blood oaths, kneeling before an altar, swearing yourself to secrecy for all time without without the group that you're becoming a member of being suspect.
But you did take these blood oaths.
Yes, sir. I took all of them, and there were many.
And so by the time you reach the degree level that you are at now, you've taken approximately how many oaths?
I don't even recollect. I know that there were over 24 oaths before you can even become a master mason in a Blue Lodge of Freemasonry, which is a bit like primary school for Freemasons. The Blue Lodge is where they are brought in as new members from off the street, and most men who are involved in Masonry for their lifetimes consider the Blue Lodge to be the heart and soul of Masonry, because that is where it all begins and that is where it all grows from.
But isn't it true that many Masons never advance beyond the 3rd degree and remain in the Blue Lodge forever?
That is absolutely true. Whether or not it's they do not choose to go forth, or whether they're totally unaware that there is anywhere to go, is up to personally the Mason that's involved. But many of them stay right where they're at and seem to be content with what they have.
So these Master Masons who claim that they know everything about Freemasonry and that they've been a Master Mason for 20 years, do they really know anything?
They know absolutely nothing. They have been completely deceived from the very first day they entered the lodge. They have been lied to regularly about the nature of the craft, the work of the craft, and the charity of the craft. My own lodge that I'm a member of considers its charity work for the entire last year to be the donation of $100, which is a little more than the dues yearly for 3 members. They gave $100 to a needy family, and through these very, very shallow and superficial acts, they consider themselves to be one of the greatest charity and brotherhood organizations ever to walk the face of the earth.
A recent thorough investigation of the Shriners, who have literally made their reputation upon the fact that they contribute tremendous amounts of money to charity, but the investigation disclosed that of all the money they take in, less than 3% actually goes to any charity. Were you aware of that?
No, actually I was not. I'm not a member of the Shrine, but I have been exposed to some of their numbers. I was hoping that it would at least be a little bit higher than that, because that says bad things about the Masons who are members of the Shrine. And as most people know, the Shrine is probably one of the largest quote-unquote charity organizations that there is.
And one of the richest. But most of the money seems to go back into the lodge, or to the members, or to the retirement funds, or to the payment of the lodge officers. And this is something else people don't realize, that the lodge officers are paid and they have a retirement fund set aside for them. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. Now, this doesn't apply directly to all officers of the lodge. I myself am an officer of the lodge that I was indoctrinated into, duly elected member. They operate in that kind of manner with elected officials that serve 1-year terms. But there is an exception to this rule, and that is the secretary and the treasurer. And the secretary keeps the books and the treasurer keeps the money, and that points a very big finger as to where the true power in every lodge lies, because these 2 gentlemen who held these offices usually hold them for years and years and years.
And they're not elected, and they're not accountable. Is that correct?
They are totally unaccountable. The treasurer will give a 1 budget report at a certain time during the year, and I listened to this report not 2 months ago. And if an accountant in the business world attempted to give such a superfluous report to his boss, he would be fired on the spot.
Now, just so our listening audience realizes that you're not just some yahoo who walked in off the street and went through the 1st degree and are now on a radio program trying to tell them you know something about Freemasonry, what is the level of your status or your degree, or how high have you progressed through the initiatory levels?
It's not exactly something that any thinking individual would like to brag about, but I have shot like a rocket up the ranks of Freemasonry. Much like in America, excuse me, today, the Masons like to keep their members busy, busy, busy. They don't want to give them time to think about what they're doing, and they don't want to give them time to think about where they're going. They do this by ritual. All of Masonry is tied up in ritual, and you must memorize this ritual, and it is very, very extensive. Each office has its own whole slew of ritual to remember. But I worked hard. I've got a good memory. I rose through the ranks, and I'm now a 32nd degree Mason of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Southern Jurisdiction, United States of America.
And this is the same branch of Freemasonry that Albert Pike belonged to that created the Ku Klux Klan, the B'nai B'rith, and the branch off the B'nai B'rith called the ADL, or Anti-Defamation League. Is that correct?
Absolutely true. Albert Pike is considered to be a demigod among Freemasons, and actually a source of light all of his own. He took the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, which did exist for some time before him. He took it after the Civil War and turned it into what it is today. He incorporated much of the pagan symbology into the degrees that are still used and practiced today. His name is revered. I've seen a bigger than life-size bust of complete bronze of Albert Pike that was created for $25,000. Some of that money was mine, by the way. They treat him next to godhood in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry.
Were you aware that Albert Pike was in constant communication and in concert with Giuseppe Mazzini in creating, not only creating, but Albert Pike at one time was the sovereign grand commander of all Freemasonry in the world, and operated in concert with Giuseppe Mazzini in control of what we now know is the world body known as the Illuminati?
The name Mazzini is familiar to me, and I have come across its connection to the Illuminati in my research, but no, I was not personally aware, and this comes as no surprise, because with the exception of my own personal research, most of my information comes from the archives of the lodges I have participated and visited, or from Freemasons themselves, and all information is questionable at best. Never once, with the exception of one word, have I heard any reference to the Illuminati, and yet my own research points exactly in their direction for the true source of the Masons' power and the reason for their concealment. But no, I did not know about Mazzini.
Do the members of the lodge consider themselves to be illumined?
All of them do. Without even knowing the definition of the term, the true definition of the term, they consider themselves illuminated. They go around, they have that secret little smile, and they generally talk, no, not generally, they always talk down about most of the other people in the world, and I've even heard grown men refer to fellow Americans, brothers, as profane, simply because they had not advanced through the ritual of Freemasonry.
I remember a friend of mine who was a young man who was not a member of the lodge, but his father was. And he had a friend who belonged to another family who was not a member of the lodge, but owned a small business in town. And his small business was being destroyed by the members of the lodge simply because he was not a Freemason, and the business was going to members or lodge brothers. And he asked his father why his friend's family was literally being destroyed by his father and others who professed to be members of a fraternal organization existing for the benefit of the community. And his father told him, and I'll never forget this because it literally crushed my friend. His father told him this, quote, "If you are not one of us, you are nothing," unquote. Is this generally true? Is this the way Freemasons generally think about people who do not belong to their organization?
I have personally seen Masonry interfere with family ties before, and yes, this is just how they look at the world. They consider the world to be profane, unilluminated, and this just goes hand in hand with the general attitude that is conveyed by all Masons, that they are on their road to their own form of godhood, and this manifests itself in severe racism. For all the people out there that may not be too familiar with Masons or Masonry, and this especially goes for members of minority groups who have often and usually continue to be excluded from Masonry, and especially for women, I'm here to tell you that you are not welcome in the lodge. You never will be, and you never have been welcome in the lodge. This especially goes for blacks, in spite of the Prince Hall Masonry, which is the biggest joke and the biggest scam and the biggest insult to any single race I've ever seen, and especially for women. They do not want you, and they consider you totally ineligible and unable to understand what they do.
You told me something the other night that I found just incredible. You said that you could go to any Prince Hall Lodge in any black community and the doors would be open to you and you'd be welcome, but if one of those members or brothers of the lodge of the Prince Hall Lodge came to your lodge and tried to come in and participate in the ceremonies or whatever you call them, what would happen?
It wouldn't happen. It just simply wouldn't happen. I, as a Caucasian Freemasonry, can visit any Prince Hall Lodge in the country and, as far as I know, in the world. I can also visit any lodge, period, across the world. I've been told through my initiation that I am welcome in any lodge, but this just does not apply to blacks, no matter that. Even if the ritual that they go through, and I do not know this for certain, but I know it's similar, but even if the ritual were exact, even if the same form of quote-unquote illumination that they underwent was exact, they could not ever, and I sit in a lodge with Caucasian Freemasons. I've never seen a black Freemason sit in a lodge among Caucasians, and I don't think I will. Equal opportunity and affirmative action laws are just completely ignored and considered frivolous and a joke by all Freemasons.
So the New World Order that they're bringing into being is going to be racist.
Entirely. It has an Aryan background, and that is where it comes from.
And that's been borne out by our research. Why then would the black community form their own lodges and support the bringing about of a New World Order that is going to relegate them back into slavery? And I might add, along with the rest of us who don't belong to this religion, and it is a religion, why would they participate in something like that?
Well, as you've told me yourself, and most people will understand this, the world loves a mystery, and you can control the masses by dangling a secret like a carrot in front of their nose and promising them the answer to that secret if they just merely do what you say and work for you. This, together with man's own entirely fallible human nature and the selfishness of man and the ego of man, they want to be something. They want to be better than the people around them that they see. And since they have been told straight out that they can never advance to the ranks of Caucasian Freemasons, they have settled for just being better than their own people and excluding other blacks from joining their own lodge.
So one of the holes that Freemasonry has over people is that ordinary people, whether they be black, white, Oriental, Hispanic, doesn't matter, they want to be part of the elect. Is that true?
Exactly. They want to join the elite. They'd like to look down on their fellow man.
Okay. But now, if nobody coerced you, nobody proselytized you, how did you get into the lodge?
I went to the door and I knocked on it.
It's time for our break, folks. Don't go away. I'll be right back after this very short pause. Hello, folks. This is William Cooper once again for Swiss America Trading, our sponsor. You know, if it wasn't for Swiss America Trading, you wouldn't be listening to this program right now. In fact, nobody would. We wouldn't be on the air. We wouldn't even have known about this station. You see, we're not radio people. We're information junkies. We have the largest intelligence gathering operation under civilian control in the world. We don't tell anybody what to do. We don't hold any meetings. We don't march around with guns. We don't care if anybody has guns or not. We just collect information and disseminate it to people, put the puzzle together to try to wake up the sheeple of the world so that we can save the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, and freedom for all peoples all over the world. That is our function. The people of Swiss America Trading are just like us. They care about this country. They care about freedom. They want to survive what's coming. Now, if we all wake up, nothing bad ever has to happen to anybody. But look around, folks. What do you see out there? I'll tell you what I see. I see a great herd of sheeple marching to the slaughter. And on the way there, they always get sheared, don't they? Well, you know, if you'd called Swiss America Trading in order to find a way to protect your assets against what's coming, that will mostly be brought about by the abdication, ignorance, irresponsibility, and stupidity of this great herd of sheeple, If you had called Swiss America Trading when they first began to sponsor us, and it wasn't very long ago, folks, believe me. In fact, just in the last 3 weeks, whoever has made an investment in gold through Swiss America Trading has already realized an 11% profit in 3 weeks. The people who made some other investments with Swiss American Trading have realized a 30% profit since they began sponsoring this program. What's happening in the world today confirms my predictions that I have given you. And remember, I was accurate to the month when this recession would start. I told you that it would advance into a depression, which we are in now, and that by the third quarter of 1993 we would be in serious trouble. No world leader has emerged in Bill Clinton. The financial markets of the world are shaky. The international banking community is scared. And to prove that, we're making this broadcast, we're recording it actually on the 12th of May, folks. And the Bundesbank has just lowered the interest rates once again. All-time lows. Nobody has ever seen anything like this before. It is a vote of no confidence. Why? Well, if you were to translate it into bonds, you could say there was a Bush bond that would have realized 0% interest, a Quayle bond, which would have had no maturity, and a Clinton bond, which has no principles. So, folks, do it now. Call 1-800-289-2646. You've all asked me over and over again how to save your assets. The time to act is now. Call 1-800-289-2646. That's 1-800-289-2646.